Hello there and happy Sunday if you're watching this on the day that it's going up and are in a similar time zone as I am. And if not, happy whatever day you're watching this. This is my February rewind, so this is a look back at what I read in February with a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a quick little bit on why. And I have to say I did not get nearly as much read in February as I wanted to. And if you hear that noise, that's my rat. I had plans. I had so many good things that I wanted to read in February. I was really thinking I was just gonna like go gung-ho, and a couple of things happened. Number one, I was sick part of the month, so I didn't get much reading done from that point. Number two, I think maybe leading up to being sick, I don't entirely know what it was, but I was very tired and worn down, and so every time I would start to read, I would fall asleep, which is unheard of for me. I don't fall asleep when I'm reading, it's the opposite. I normally end up staying up way too late because I'm reading, and with the exception of one of these books, every single one of them I would get 10 or 20 pages in and down. I don't like that trend. Maybe it's that I'm getting old. Whatever it is, I'm not a fan. I want to get over that real quick. But it all meant that I didn't really read nearly as much as I'd wanted to read in February. The good thing is, basically liked everything I read, so yay! Also, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Like, I'm almost positive that I read something else this month. Cannot for the life of me remember what it was. I haven't been marking things on Goodreads. I'm in a really bad habit with that right now. Ugh. We will start with the only book that had the opposite effect on my sleeping. I spent many, many late nights with this book, and that was the Wednesday YA book club pick, Dark Triumph, which is the sequel to Grave Mercy, part of the His Fair Assassin series, and just a killer. Loved it. Ha, killer because they're assassins. Get it? I will link up the live show discussion that we had of this, but I think we all liked it. I don't remember any negative comments actually, which means we all loved it. Really, really like this series, very strong, and I wasn't expecting to like this as much as Grave Mercy, partly because it changes over to new characters, but also because there tends to be a sophomore slump. The second book normally doesn't excite you as much as the first, but I think I actually might have liked this more. I'm really looking forward to book 3. I kicked off the month, though, with a big graphic novel reading binge of the Olympians series by George O'Connor. So this is Zeus, Athena, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, Aphrodite, and Ares, which is not part of the box set because it just came out, which is why I was reading these. I'll leave my review of the series below because I pretty much felt the same about all of them, which is that they're excellent. They weren't what I was expecting, and I like them all the more for that, I think. They're really, really strong take on straightforward retellings of the Greek myths. So it's not a spin, it's not kind of taking them and twisting them into something new or making them contemporary. It is seriously just the tales retold in graphic novel format really, really well. There were a lot of things that I loved from an artistic standpoint and a storytelling standpoint. I thought George did a really, really knockout job. And if you are a Greek mythology buff, or you know, kids and sort of middle grade readers that are into it, or you have a library or a class that you purchase for, get these. They're so, so, so well done. Very glad to have them on my shelves and added to my mythology collection because this has been a lifelong devotion of mine. I also read Stone in the Sky by Cecil Castellucci, which is the sequel to Tin Star. I think you guys know how I feel about that one, and fortunately, how I feel about this one too. I was a little hesitant in the beginning, not really from a storytelling standpoint, mostly. One of the things I liked about Tin Star is how isolated everything is, and that is forced to change in this. So I was a little hesitant on that and how things were going to change for Tula and with Tula herself. But I think what was really holding me back in the beginning was, shockingly, the editing. It needed some work on just surface stuff, and it kept, every time I would come across a mistake, it would just jar me out of it. So that's not anything to hold against the finished book because I'm sure it won't be like that. So don't let that hold you back. And there were also times towards the end where I felt like it maybe got a little chaotic. So it was this weird thing where I liked it, but I also wanted more of it. But that said, it's still a world and a character I love. It was really great to explore it, and it gets even darker than Tin Star, but in a totally different way. Probably not for everybody, same as Tin Star was. Some people might consider it slow. I think it's slow burning, which isn't the same as slow, and I actually like slow burning. But if you feel like it is for you, or you liked Tin Star, if you like slow burning, if you like prickly characters and kind of hopeless situations, I recommend it. And I think it's unlike anything else that's out there in YA right now. So I recommend this series, and I really liked Stone in the Sky. And again, I have reviewed this, so I will leave the link below. I also read one other book, but I don't have a physical copy, so let's see if I can pull it up on my phone real quick so I can show you. I also read The Boy Who Lost Fairyland, and hopefully you can actually see that. Can you see that? That right there. Woohoo! That book. I read that. I didn't talk too much about it in February, even though I was part of the blog tour, because I'm actually going to be reviewing it for Fairy Tale Fortnight. So I'm not going to go too into detail, so I won't be repeating myself, because I think I might end up doing it as a video review. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't decided on those things yet, but just in case I do, I don't want to go over the same territory here. But basically, I was a little cautious going in. I've said before that the Fairyland series is something that I have to be in the perfect mood for because it's very whimsical and quirky, which is something I love, but if you're not in the mood for it, it can feel really overdone. And I did have that problem a little bit with the third book, The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two. That was the third, right? Yes, that was the third book. We're good. I did struggle a little bit with that third book. Partly I think it was the timing. In fact, a lot of it I think was the timing. It was kind of a not great place in my life, and everything that I was reading in that time just got abandoned. So that was part of it. But also, I think maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it, or maybe it was just a little bit, I don't know, maybe not as, I don't want to say not as well done as the first two, because I don't know if that's the case, but maybe just not the same, you know, it didn't pull me in the same way. And so I was afraid going into the fourth book that maybe I would still feel that, and that the series would start to lose some of its charm, which would be a shame because it's a really good series and characters that are really memorable, and I've loved it. But I think it was a really smart choice on Valenti's part to take the series in a different direction. So if you've read the Fairyland books up to this point, they've all focused on September, a little girl, human girl who goes to Fairyland. This one is actually focused on a boy from Fairyland, a troll named Hawthorne, who comes here. And I think shaking it up like that was a really, really smart idea. So that's all I'm really gonna say for now, and then I'll talk more about it in my review in April. But yeah, I'm curious to see where the fifth book goes now, and that I believe will wrap up the series, so we shall see. And that was all I actually read, finished as far as I can remember, in February. I also did start on Beastkeeper by Kat Hellison, but I didn't get very far in that, so can't really talk about that yet, but again, I'll be talking about it in Fairy Tale Fortnight. Beyond that, I really wish I would have read more. I know it's a short month and there were all kinds of extenuating circumstances and whatever, but there were so many books in my pile that sounded so good, and even things that I just wanted to read part of. Like, I didn't read any of The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer, and I had intended to read at least a little bit of that. So many good books that I got recently that I wanted to read. I've got really potentially excellent books on my shelves right now. I need to get with it. But that was all I read in February. If you would like to see what the rest of the month was like for me just in general, you can check out my February vlog, which is live. I will warn you, if you're not a fan of long videos, vlogs tend to be longer ones, and that one especially so because it's for an entire month. So, fair warning. However, some fun things did happen, and a snowpocalypse. So check that out if you're interested. Let me know in the comments what you think of the books I read, and if you agree or disagree or want to know more about any of them. And of course, let me know what you read in February and whether you would recommend it. I will see you again on Wednesday for a brand new video, a little chat type of thing. So I will see you guys then. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy reading. Was that the third book? What was the third book? I will see you again on Wednesday for Merlot Jesus Christ. I think she does that, honestly, just to annoy me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.